Hi everyone, it's your quasi boxer Kate here. I hope you are all doing well and enjoying my blog so far. Something I've noticed about boxing is the importance of hand wraps and also that most beginners won't have them. Hand wraps are there to provide support for your wrists and to protect your knuckles. Now, you aren't necessarily expected to have them right away, however, they are usually the first thing new boxers buy. So, with that, my post for this week is going to be about buying hand wraps. I know it can be a little overwhelming buying gear for a new sport that you know little about, and now you have all these questions like where do I get them, how much should I pay, and what brand should I get. So I am going to share with you what I have learned and hope that it takes a little bit of the stress off. So let's get started. Buying hand wraps is just like buying clothes. There are several brands, different materials, and different sizes to choose from. I use Venom and they work just fine and come in several colors. They are also a less expensive brand, but like I said, they do work just fine. And now I'm not going to advocate for Venom. There are several other brands. That's just the one that I chose. Fortunately, hand wraps are one of the cheapest things to buy for boxing. They range in price from $8 to $15 depending on the quality, brand, and where you get them. I got my first pair at the store that was recommended to me by my gym. The store I went to is a fitness equipment store, so I didn't pay an inflated price that you could expect to pay from, say, Sport Chek. You can also order them online, which I have also done. It's pretty easy. Amazon is great, especially if you need to make a return. It happens. But before you make that purchase, you should know that hand wraps come in 2 different sizes. I didn't know this. I learned. I don't want to say the hard way, but I learned. So they come in 2.5 meters and 4 meters. This is pretty standard from at least what I've seen online and in stores. The reason for the varying lengths is not entirely clear to me. I have read that the shorter ones are for people with smaller hands, which is kind of like, duh, that makes sense. But it doesn't really make you feel like it's a good enough answer. So I will have to do more research on that and get back to you guys. Aside from that, I do personally myself have a couple hand wraps that are the shorter lengths. I like to use them because they're easier to wrap my hands with, especially when I know that I'm not going to be doing a bunch of punching. So for like the more fitness based classes, there's less bag work, less mitt work, and you don't need to necessarily wrap your hands quite as thoroughly as you would with the longer ones. Now, I do also have the longer wraps. They don't vary in price just because of the length. They might on Amazon, online shopping, but in stores it's the same price for the shorter ones versus the longer ones, so there's no worry there. I use the longer wraps for when I'm doing a lot of bag work and punching because that's a lot of impact on your hands and wrists, and it's always important to protect your hands. So regardless of the length of your hand wraps, you should always be wearing them when boxing. And lastly, I just want to say that wraps are very important. They are essentially there to protect your hands, making them an integral component of injury prevention in boxing. So I hope that helps, and go out, buy your first pair of wraps, start throwing some punches, and enjoy it. I hope this helps. take some of the pressure off of buying new equipment. Thanks for listening. Keep an eye out for my next post.